Big Z Reviews. Damsel is Netflix's newest big film, and it's not bad. I had a good time. I'm a fan of dragons, so yeah, it wasn't bad. So, as a big fantasy novel fan and a fan of dragons in general, this is kind of right up my alley. But at the same time, it's very basic. This is starring Millie Bobby Brown, and she has Elodie, and she is the damsel, and essentially that she's going in a marriage pact with this other country's royal family to become the new princess. And there's I think the weirdest stuff is that there's no setup for what this world is. Like at the beginning you see a bunch of people being destroyed by a dragon, then you get them. And obviously, it's not going to be good. And there's a whole, the whole fairy tale, a whole story of that, a sacrifice being given to a dragon to appease it, to not destroy their village. The young virgin, the damsel. This is like a retelling or an adaptation of that fairy tale. But the thing is, if you're gonna do an adaptation of, the dragon and damsel fairy tale, instead of just making your own kind of mediocre script, why not adapt this? This is the best version of that story I've ever written, and uprooted by Naomi Novik. And this is of course there isn't an actual real dragon technically, because the dragon that their village sends the woman to is picked as a magician. It's also like a magician in a tower with the young version is sent to. But I mean, it's this is Naomi Novik after the Temporary series, which that has a bunch of dragons. During the Napoleonic War, she did a couple versions of fairy tales, but completely different retellings of them, dark and mysterious and beautiful. But this one was the first one she did, and it's in this weird fantasy world where their village, every 10 years a new woman is chosen by the dragon. And then they're set free, and the woman goes back to the village, but they never stay. They always go somewhere else. So it's always they think they're cursed. There's something going on, but you see there's much more going on, because the dragon, he is protecting their village from the encroachment of the dark lands. I mean, I would love to see retelling of this on the big screen. Although I think it's a little bit too big to make one movie. There is no story in Uprooted. So to tell this story, you probably need 2 books or a mini series, but I would love to see this. But instead, we had a relatively entertaining, action adventure flick where there's just Millie Bobby Brown surviving for an hour and a half as this dragon tries to eat her. And a lot of the stuff is fun. But I hate that before they're set up into this, you're with her in these caves being chased by this dragon. I wish they set up this world at all. It seems like it's just a regular medieval world, but dragons exist, but only one dragon. She's the last of her kind. But the director, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, is competent. I just don't think there's an interesting script here. There's no interesting dialogue. There's no interesting characters. Millie Bobby Brown is great. As that, her surviving is really fun, and she goes through a lot of shit to survive. But I just feel they didn't do that much to make you care about her, other than that she's a damsel that's going to save herself. They didn't really give you a reason. They have these evil people, Nick Robinson, Robin Wright, and Milo Tuomi as like the royal family that has to sacrifice three of their children to the dragon. But all they do is they trick the dragon into taking their brides that they've gotten money from and they're sacrificing. But the movie implies that this has been going on for like at least 5 generations, it seems like 4 generations, because it seems like there's like around at least 15 girls' names up on the wall of the cave, and they have to do three children every generation. So it's been going on for like a couple of 100 years. But no one, there's no mention of, hey, don't marry off your daughter to, especially if you hadn't been married 3 times recently. Yeah, they're going to be tossed to the dragon. You know, it's like, I feel like if you have enough money, or the royalty would be like, they'd be talking to each other. Hey, where's your daughter? And like, I don't know. I married her off to this prince, but I haven't ever heard from her. Like, maybe we should look into that. You know? And the problem, the dragon, it's so funny that from scene to scene, her look kind of changed. And some of the times she looked pretty good. Other times she looked really cartoony and odd. I feel like that the dragon is a little bit too small. Like, it seems like it's really big, but then other times when Millie Bobby Brown is like standing next to it or like it's fighting it, it's like it's not that much bigger than like a van or a truck. Like, I don't know. Like, it's very inconsistent. And I know they probably didn't have that big of a budget, but like it's a mixed bag. The dragon. I also found that I don't know, the wings are oddly placed and way too small. And I mean, like, they're not trying to make it real. And if you're not trying to make it real, then this world has magic. And I don't mind that. But, try to do a little bit of world building. The writer, Dan Mazeau, like, didn't really do much writing for this world. It's just like a vaguely medieval European world that has a dragon. And I do think that some of the way they did the dragon's breath was kind of cool. Like, you see, like, the chest like light up and glow, and then it spews it, and it's almost like magma. It's not as much like dragon fire. It's almost like he's spewing magma, and it's cool. But then there's like, I don't want to spoil it, but like, the dragon at one point is wounded by its own fire, and it's like, I think it'd be a little bit fireproof, I like, there's just, but at the same time, this is some dumb fun, it's a fun film. Like, if I was seeing it in the movie theater, I'd probably be more critical. But watching it on Netflix on my TV at home, I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I'll probably give it like a 7 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.